So, hello everybody, and welcome to this Broadcom webinar on software update. Today we'll be talking about how software update is a new function in OSMF that will allow you to maintain your ZOS software as an alternative to doing so manually or perhaps via CA Chorus Software Manager. So my name is Elliot Jolly. I'm a product manager at Broadcom based here in Prague, in the Czech Republic. And I'll be giving you an introduction into what we mean by software management. And my colleague, Peter Weinfurt, will then do a demo around corrective and recommended maintenance using software update. So the agenda, as I've just described, I'll give you some context around what we mean by mainframe software management. I'll dig into software update and what that function is, what it delivers in terms of capabilities, and then I'll hand over to Peter for a demo, and then we'll talk about some of the upcoming webinars that we have around this mainframe software management initiative, and indeed some of the events that we have upcoming. So if I'm going to give some context now around mainframe software management. If this is something you've heard before, I'm aware that some of you listening to this recording will have heard that before, then you can obviously skip ahead to the demo. I expect the demo to be around the 15th minute of the recording, something, give or take a few minutes around that time. So what do we mean when we talk about mainframe software management? So if we look at the current status today, we see that there is little in the way of standardization for the way we manage products on the mainframe platform. All of us have our own way of installing, maintaining, configuring products, and for both from a vendor perspective, that means that we each have teams, working on offering these different capabilities to our set of customers, but also for you as users, you then have to learn different ways to actually manage software coming from different vendors. So clearly it seems that, given that installation, maintenance, configuration are all things that we do, regardless of what shop we're in, what vendor we are, what product we're offering. It seems natural to actually standardize these functions as much as possible, so that we have one simplified way to actually manage software across the mainframe platform. One of the other motivations for doing this, apart from simplification, modernization, is the fact that obviously mainframe expertise is diminishing, in the sense that a number of folks are beginning to retire off the platform. Younger system programmers are coming in, and they have a slightly different view on how to maintain these products, and are looking for a different set of tools, utilities, and just have a different perspective. So we're trying to, in some way, move closer towards that perspective and support those folks as they begin their mainframe journey. So when we say, when we talk about a new cross-vendor platform standard for managing mainframe software, we're talking specifically around the acquisition of the software, how it's deployed and configured, how it's maintained, so that all of this is done in a consistent way. The other common element that you'll see as we go through this presentation is that we are attempting to standardize around a single tool, that is ZOSMF. So that's quite an important consideration here, and you'll see that many of these functions are going to be offered as capabilities within ZOSMF. So this slide here just shows you the four pillars when we think about mainframe software management. We talk about product acquisition, and going forward, what that's going to mean for us are portable software instances. Talk about configuration, and again, our recommendation at Broadcom and the general direction in this area is towards ZOSMF workflows. Maintenance acquisition, so the ability to actually acquire your maintenance that you wish to apply. So our best practice here going forward would be to use SMPE receive order. And then finally, the last pillar that you can see around maintenance is what I'm going to talk about today specifically. And again, our recommendation will be to use the new software update function in ZOSMF. So this is the first in a series of webinars on these topics. So today we are going to cover maintenance and software update, but there will be further webinars on product acquisition, maintenance acquisition, and configuration. And I'll share those details with you at the end of this presentation. So I'm aware that quite a few of you listening are possibly users of CSM. So that is obviously it's a utility offered by Broadcom since I think 2008 that allows you to acquire, install, maintain, and configure mainframe software. So clearly, given the direction of travel that I described in the previous slide, with some standardization in all of these areas, and with a willingness to focus on ZOSMF as the tool of choice to enable these functionalities. The case for CSM is not so strong. So much of our resources now are going into standardizing around ZOSMF. So what that means for CSM today is that we are only in support mode at this time. We're not enhancing with new features. It is still supported, but as we begin to roll out some of those features, portable software instances, ZOSMF workflows, software update, as part of ZOSMF, so we will announce end of support for CSM at some point in the near future. So at the moment, as you can see here on the slide, the second bullet point indicates second half of 2021. That is my estimation at this time, but nevertheless, I think it gives you an indication that that end of support for CSM is something that will be coming down the line in the short to medium term. So clearly, the third bullet point there is important. We will, as per our usual policy for announcing end of support, we will give 12 months notice before it becomes effective. So today I'm going to talk about software update. So this is really just the maintenance part. So this is all about PTF installation. So we're going to do a demo in just a moment. First of all, let me just spend a few moments just describing what we mean by software update. So I think this sentence here in bold hopefully gives you an indication as to what our objective is. So I'll read it out. Provide dialogue-driven PTF installation for SMPE service as an additional function named software update within software management in ZOSMF. So essentially what that means is that there will be a new function named software update that will be in ZOSMF. It's not there at this time. It's currently in development. And that will allow you to, to install PTFs, to apply PTFs as you would normally to maintain your products. So the idea here is we have maintenance has been available in CSM, since 2008. And the idea here is to make it available in ZOSMF to try and reach a wider audience. To make it available, it's not just for Broadcom software. We're talking about, this is a cross-vendor initiative, so it's for products coming from all vendors, and in addition to making it available in ZOSMF so it reaches a wider audience, we also are taking this opportunity to try and simplify the maintenance process, and hopefully you'll see those efforts in the demo in just a few minutes. And then, obviously the third bullet point there, mobilize a cross-vendor initiative. So, I just want to stress that this is a cross-vendor initiative. So you will be able to use this software update function to maintain products from a whole range of vendors. So I touched on this earlier. Who is this for? Software update is something that we're aiming at a new generation of system programmers. If you are a user of CSM, you'll note that it's a tool that helped to modernize and simplify the maintenance flow, and not just maintenance, by the way, other functions as well. But it still offered a level of information and data that an experienced system programmer might expect as they maintain their software. In this case, with software update, we're trying to take it a step further and simplify the process to an extent where some of that data will be in the background, so that our modern system programmer is able just to run through a wizard and apply the maintenance without having perhaps as much information and options as he may find or in MSM. So the idea here is that Tyler is someone who is relatively new to the industry, and perhaps doesn't have the deep level of skills and knowledge as a more experienced system programmer, and is someone that nevertheless, despite having perhaps less experience, is able still to work through a maintenance flow and apply a PTF. So there are three use cases that we're focusing on for software update: corrective service, recommended service, and fixed gap. So corrective service being the scenario whereby you would like just to apply maintenance on an ad hoc basis to a particular product. So you have, for example, a PTF number, and you need to apply that PTF. So that is a kind of an ad hoc maintenance process, and we call that corrective service. So that's one of our use cases. The second use case is around recommended service. So this is about being able to install a bundle of maintenance that is recommended by your vendor. So we're going to show you both corrective and recommended service today in the demo, as it is something that we've actually completed development on. And then the third use case is something that we're working on at the moment, is fixed cat service. So this is where you would install an update that provides support for new hardware, software, or function. So current status, as I mentioned, this is not currently available in ZOSMF. It's in development, so we've actually finished the design and implementation for corrective service and recommended service, and we expect it to be made available in ZOSMF at some point over the summer this year. It'll likely be made available via a PTF that you would install. And then finally, fixed cat service. We've just completed the design. We have just started on the implementation, and this function would be added to software update at some point in the second half of 2020. So let's move to the demo. So Petter is going to give a demo of corrective and recommended service. Just want to show you this slide here first before we go into the demo. As I've presented this new function in the past, folks have asked me, okay, well, so what do I need to do before I can actually start using software update? So clearly, it's a function that's being offered as a part of ZOSMF. So you need to have that installed and configured. But in addition to that, you need to make sure that you have the relevant permissions. Make sure you have read, update, control, access within ZOSMF so that you can actually perform these maintenance operations. So once you have ZOSMF up, running, configured, and you have the necessary privileges, you're ready to go. The second point here is you will have a particular product that you wish to maintain, or a CSI, and you'll need to make sure that that's registered with ZOSMF so that it can actually be maintained as part of ZOSMF. Now, we recognize that there'll be a number of customers moving across from CSM to this new function in ZOSMF over the next year or two. And in order to facilitate that movement across to ZOSMF, we are working on a migration tool that will allow you to move multiple CSIs that you manage within MSM into ZOSMF, so that they're registered with ZOSMF and so they can be maintained in ZOSMF. So that's a migration tool that's in development at the moment, and we will certainly share details on that once it's ready to use. So once you have registered your SMPE environment with ZOSMF, you are ready to use software update. The final point that you should be aware of here is that whatever you intend to install must be received in the global zone of the CSI. So our recommendation here is for you to use receive order as a way to acquire your maintenance and receive it. So that is something that we'll be talking about in an upcoming webinar, showing you how to actually do that. Okay, so that's all in terms of context, background, and in terms of some of the prerequisites that you would need to resolve before you begin to use software update. So at this point, I will hand over to Petter, and he will show you a demo on corrective maintenance and recommended service. Petter.
Yeah, thank you, Elliot. Let me just share my screen. So, welcome everyone. My name is Petr Weinfurt, and I am one of the team members who work on this software update function in OSMF. So, right now, I'm sharing with you my screen with the desktop interface of OSMF. And
Petter, I'm not seeing your screen.
You're not seeing my screen, okay. Do it again. Share. Sorry about it.
That's okay. Yeah, I can see you now. Go ahead.
Okay. So once again, this is the OSMF desktop interface where you can see a number of functions or application within OSMF. I just pulled off those two: software management, which is the existing one, and the software update is the new function we are currently working on and will be available around the summer this year, as Elliot was saying. So let's begin with the software update. If you open it for the first time, you would see a screen like this, with some description what the software update is, and even some help text, which will help you to identify what you can achieve in this function, and a list of software instances or table of software instances. Software instance, if you don't know, is basically the registered SMP environment or CSI inside OSMF. So here we are talking only about software instance, not SMP environment. So software instance clearly can sit on some system, can have some description, status. You can see some of them as this little lock icon, meaning that the software instance is currently being maintained or exported or something else with maybe your colleague or somebody else, and it could be done even in the software management application. It's not function. The deployment export is not a function of software update. So the software instance is exclusively locked for this this process and cannot be currently used for maintenance. So let's now try to install some corrective maintenance, some PTF inside one of the software instances. I would select my testing auditor instance, and I need to select also the target zone where I would like to install the PTF or update. I have only one here, so I'll select this, and down here button install update will enable me to install this single PTF choice. Now, for those who know CSM, you would expect here a list of available PTFs. It's no longer be available here. because corrective maintenance or corrective service is supposed to be you're supposed to install only the PTF you are asked to install by probably vendor support staff or Sherman, your more experienced sysproc will tell you, please install this exact PTF and nothing else. So here we are presented with just an input field where we can type some PTF number or software update name. We can use multiple of them with just comma or space separation. And by hitting enter or clicking the submit button, we will query the CSI, the software instance, for the status of these PTF, if it is installable or not. I just made up these numbers and software update names, so those are not available here. So they are listed here in not installable table. They were not found. So I cannot proceed anymore with these ones. This is just for anybody to be sure that whatever they will put there, they can proceed with the installation, and most likely they will also succeed with the installation. There's also another possibility to upload a comma-separated value text file where you can maybe have multiple PTFs provided by the vendor support or somebody else, so you don't need to type them inside the input field. Selecting the file will also kick off the query, and here I can even see that I have something ready to be installed. Those 3 PTFs which were in the file listed are available for installation, and just this one XYZ, again it's made up name, it's not found. Before the actual installation, I'd like also to show you how you can see the details about each PTF. With those 3 little dots, you can click on the details, and in a little while you should see the description of the PTF itself, and you should also see, yeah, here it is. You should also see, so this is our usual Broadcom problem description and symptoms, so you can check what the PTF is actually fixing, and you can also check the associated whole data with this particular PTF. Okay, back to the installation process. So let's now start with the installation, and having all of them checked, we can install all PTF which are ready to be installed. Right now, we are starting this dialog-driven wizard. You can see up here the list of steps which we are going to go through, and right now the first one, the preparing update step, was the first apply check, which checks and finds all the prerequisites and possible whole data to be resolved. Our current status is new holds found, so that means that in next step we will need to resolve some holds. Okay, here it is. We have 9 unresolved holds, which we need to somehow either resolve, or maybe if we would not like to resolve them, so we have the possibility to exclude the actual PTF, or we can then resolve after installation. This is maybe something new for you guys. This resolve after installation is basically a new new possibility to have those holds shown again after the actual apply operation is finished, and you can also see this step almost at the end of the wizard, review post-installation holds. So in this step you will see those holds again, and you have the possibility to export them to some text file and send it to your colleague, or you can save them for some auditing purposes or whatever. So the task here on this screen is to resolve all the holds, meaning this table unresolved needs to be empty in order to continue. Right now we cannot continue because it's disabled, this button. So we can check the description of each hold, and we can decide what to do with each of them. So just for this demo, let me just mark this first hold data exclude. So I would like to exclude this this PTF name from the installation. I can mark multiple of them, saying I will resolve them immediately after I review all of them, of course. And these, let's say, I will resolve them after installation, so we can see them, the last step. Right now, so I can continue if run apply check button is enabled, because I resolved everything. So let's continue. Right now, verifying updates, meaning it's running another apply check behind the scene now with already resolved holds, and we can see that everything is fine. No new prerequisites were found, so we can continue with to the next screen. Before I just continue, let me just show you another neat feature of this wizard. First of all, you might notice here notes section. You can add any notes, any short message, and it's visible to your colleagues and on the dashboard screens at the beginning. So let me just show you this. I will just put here some text and save it. And let's say that you need to do immediately something else, and you don't want to say continue with this wizard right now, and also you don't want to lose the progress. You want to continue with it, let's say after an hour or after lunch or whatever. So for this, we have the save and exit button here. If you hit it, you will get back to dashboard, but don't worry, the wizard was not cancelled or dismissed. You can get back to it with this view updates in progress view, where you can see all the software updates which are not finished yet, but has been started already. So our current one is the first one. Oh, sorry, second one, because we have this note here. And you can check on which step you leave, you have left the wizard, and which software instance and zone is being maintained currently. Go back to this wizard you just selected and resume the update. You have also the possibility to rerun the apply check operation, so that it might happen that something has changed in the software instance. Maybe receive order has been executed, so you might have more PTFs available, or maybe some resolvers, some error holds or whatever. I know that I didn't change the software instance now, so I can continue with open. Okay, I'm back here in the verifying update step, and I am free to continue. Next screen, pre-install summary. This is just a verification for you that you will be installing what you wanted to install, and maybe something has been excluded from the installation. You can check these filters. Let's say I would like to see the excluded ones, and I see this PTF because I excluded the associated whole data with this PTF, so this one will not be installed. I can check also the dependencies, what needs to be installed together with my selection, and obviously also the one I selected before. These are installing. Another nice feature is that before actual apply, I can export all SMP outputs that has been gathered during the wizard. So let me just show you how it looks like. It's a simple zip file. If I open the zip file, I will say it's just an ID of the process, and I see those two steps. I see preparing updates and verifying updates. Basically, both of them were apply check operations. And if I check the last one, I can see all the SMP outputs needed for your review. Maybe you would like to review what's going to be changed, what module is going to be modified inside your product. So that's also nice. I can check the SMP output for the actual operation being executed and the results. Okay. I can also download all whole data as a text file or just a post-install holds, so those can be separated if they have some special meaning for you. Okay, let's move next. And this step is actually performing the installation. So it's running SMP apply operation. And it should complete successfully, yes. Nothing else here, so just move forward to the next screen, and here we are presented with the post-installation whole data again. As I was saying, might have special meaning for you, might be sent to some other colleagues, or you need to save it somewhere else. The only thing here, you need to again confirm the resolution, so you need to resolve each one of them, or maybe resolve them immediately with the batch operation like this. So I resolve them and continue to next screen, which is the last one, just a summary of the whole process, whole wizard. And I'm again presented with the SMP outputs in a zip file. Right now, there's going to be also results of the apply operation, and you can again download all holds or post-install holds if needed. And that's it. That's the end of the software update wizard, and I can continue going back to dashboard and do whatever other updates are needed. Before doing so, I would like also to show you the history, which is available here under the Show Completed Updates button. And this is a table where you can find all the software updates being performed in this application. You can see the basic, what instance and zone has been maintained, what type of the installation has been performed, if it is corrective maintenance or recommended service, and how it completes, if it was cancelled or completed with error or completed successfully. And also you can download all the outputs and all data. Going back to software update, I'd like to also quickly show you how the recommended service will look like. So let me select the same instance and same zone and hit the recommended service button. In this stage, we are looking for all recommended updates marked by the vendor, and actually we are using behind the scene, we are using the source IDs to identify all the recommended updates. And in this case, it looks like there are some. We are no longer provide you a possibility to choose which recommended service level is going to be installed. We always install the latest recommended service available inside your CSI or software instance. So, so in this case, some recommended updates were found. So hitting the continue button, I am presented again with the same result as was in the corrective service. Corrective service maintenance, and I will do the almost the same operations, or exactly the same operation, except the fact that I am no longer able to exclude anything. Because if I would exclude, I would not install the recommended update, obviously. So the wizard is exactly the same, and I am free to continue with the wizard as previously, but this time we see that the whole data, we have lots of whole data to resolve now, because we are installing much more PTFs than before. I guess I can cancel this one, because it's completely the same wizard with same screens, so you can imagine how it look like. So canceling the wizard will just prompt me for confirmation that I really want to cancel. Yes, I want. and that's it. That's recommended service. I would like to also show you the another case where the recommended service update has been performed just yesterday. You can see this timestamp here. It's yesterday evening. So most likely there will be nothing found for recommended updates. So if I check this one and let it find something. So in this screen, you can see that no recommended updates were found using software update selection criteria. Those selection criteria are the source IDs identified by the vendors. So in our case, it's CARS. For IBM, it's RSU and so on. But it can easily happen that your product or your vendor of your product does not support source IDs. So that's why we are also saying in this message that it may happen that source IDs are not supported at all by your vendor. So we ask you to go ask your vendor how you should proceed, because we cannot find anything as a recommended update for you to install. Also, if you would have any comments or suggestions what to do in this case, please reach out to us and give us some your thoughts about this. Okay, so the only way to go is going back to dashboard and continue with other software updates you would like to perform. Just for completeness, I can also show you how it looks like with multiple zones. It's like this. I didn't run any recommended service updates yet, so see that's it's completely not maintained, this one. And that's it. I think that's all from me, Elliot. Back to you.
Great, thank you, Petter. So I'll grab the screen once again. Petter, do you see my screen?
Yes, I see. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So just before we conclude for today, I just want to point you to some further resources. So first of all, just a little note on this webcast series that we're doing, just to give you some context here. So my colleague Jan Silar in January of this year gave us an overview on mainframe software management and the new standard that we're building. That recording is available if you go to the community's site on Broadcom. You should be able to find it there and listen to that. Today we covered the maintenance piece of that new standard. So we talked about software update, specifically how to install PTFs as part of your maintenance process. And then we've got another couple of deeper dives coming in the near future. So the next one on April the 20th, you can see here, is around the configuration, software configuration. And then in May the 18th, we're going to talk about the acquisition deployment as part of software installation. So the recording for this particular webinar will be available again on communities. And if you wish to register for these two upcoming webinars, then please do go to communities. I've written down here at the bottom of the page, you would just need to do a search here as I indicate, and you'll see the whole webinar series will appear, and you'll be able to register for the final two presentations. So aside from these webinars, we do also at Broadcom run a series of mainframe technical exchanges every year. So this is an opportunity for you to actually come to our offices and speak to the development teams and product management, and listen to some of our plans, provide your feedback on what kind of features and capability you'd like to see us include into our roadmaps, and also have some hands-on experience with some of the features and capabilities that we're building. So these are the locations and dates. So I would encourage you, if you're able to travel to any of these locations, we'd be happy to see you. We will be covering all of these mainframe software management topics at these locations. So we'll be happy to spend some time with you and take you through what we're doing, and give you a closer view on some of these new functions. And then finally, we do maintain a small validation group of users. These are folks that we present new functions and capabilities as we build them out. We present them to this group for some early validation and guidance on whether we're going in the right direction. So if you are interested in having an early view on what we're building, then I would highly encourage you to join this validation group. So that concludes the presentation for today. I hope you found it informative. We will be posting some questions that we've received from different folks around this topic, and some answers on communities. So if you do have questions, do check that. That should be somewhere close to where you found this recording on communities. If you do still have questions, then please feel free to send me an email at elliot.jolly@broadcom.com, and I'll make sure you get an answer. Okay, so once again, thank you for listening to this recording, and I do hope you have found it useful.